Hello and welcome. In today's presentation, we'll be discussing the following 4 points for building a successful social media campaign for SHIP. Firstly, we'll be looking at identifying consumers and consumers' needs and traits. Secondly, we'll be looking at our proposed social media marketing strategy and objectives. Thirdly, we'll identify the desired return on investment. And finally, we'll look at the key points and insights gained from the study. According to our research, SHIP has 3 potential audiences. Firstly, small businesses located in major cities such as New York or San Francisco. Secondly, private individuals sending packages to one another. And lastly, major corporations such as Best Buy or Home Depot who also ship to their customers. We found that the target market most ideal for SHIP would be small urban e-businesses located in the aforementioned cities. These businesses would prefer the cheaper and less expensive shipping options that SHIP can provide thanks to its experience in on-demand shipping. These smaller businesses are also more flexible than the bigger corporations and more willing to try a smaller niche shipper. We believe the ideal consumer for SHIP is between the age of 25 and 35, is lower to middle class, holds a bachelor's degree or higher, and makes less than $70,000 a year. They are cheerful, optimistic, creative, risk takers, and resourceful. They value community, goal achievement, resilience, ambition, and a connection with others. Their social status can be described as a cornerstone of the community and a trendsetter. For simplicity's sake, we created 3 different customer personas for SHIP. First is Jim, the private shipper. Unfortunately for our social media campaign, Jim doesn't pay any attention to which company delivers his packages, only that it's inexpensive. Jim also won't engage with any of our social media accounts. Next up is Amy, the big retailer regional manager. However, we believe that SHIP's shipping fleet is simply too small and can't meet the volume Amy will require or her tight deadlines. Lastly, Amy is also too busy to share and engage with SHIP's social media efforts, which finally brings us to our choice, Jack, the savvy business owner. We chose Jack because we believe he will value our service, will encourage his fellow business owners to use our service, and continue to use our shipping service for many years to come. Currently, there are approximately 30.2 million Jacks living within the United States, with a total of 760,000 of them living in Virginia. That is potentially $850,000 a month waiting to be tapped. Jack will also invite his friends to try shipping with us, and he will use our app to track his shipments. We found the following 3 reasons. Firstly, it's inexpensive. We found that using SHIP would be less expensive for many small business owners than using a major competitor like UPS or FedEx. A recent article found that 64.3% of respondents said price is the most important factor related to shipping. Another reason is that there is currently a market boom for small businesses. E-commerce businesses' sales have already reached more than $222 billion by the second quarter of 2001 and is only expected to grow. Now, let's look at where SHIP's desired consumers spend most of their time online and why. A big one is social media. According to our research, nearly 77.6% of small businesses use social media, and 43% of small business owners spend 6 hours on social media per week. Similarly, we found that 55% of small businesses have a blog and that 45% of said small businesses spend 1 to 3 hours per week creating blog posts. We also found that 64% of small businesses use email marketing to reach customers. Let's look at SHIP's current brand identity on social media sites. SHIP uses the following 3 sites: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All three sites provide similar informational tips to their respective user bases. Of these three channels, Ship's Instagram receives the most likes, averaging 250 likes per post. Currently, Ship's Facebook page is the most popular channel with 10,365 followers. By comparison, Ship's Twitter handle only has 1,925 followers. Unfortunately, because of the lack of any recent posts, all three channels are stagnant with little to no growth. In reviewing Ship's social media presence, we came to the following three conclusions. Despite YouTube being one of the premier social media sites, Ship has no presence there. An investment in high-quality informative videos on shipping tips would greatly improve brand awareness for Ship. As it currently stands, there are almost no entertaining posts on any of Ship's social media accounts. We found that posts that entertain is often funny, frequently highly shareable, and often is able to quickly transform a company into a group of people like me. We believe Ship's Facebook page is underutilized. According to our research, posting some type of content frequently is highly recommended. We therefore highly suggest an increase in the number of posts or engagements made on the platform. We believe the following two brand promises would work best for Ship. Ship will seek to offer inexpensive shipping. Ship will provide encouragement and shipping tips on its social media channels. We believe the brand persona for Ship should be a tech-savvy, smaller business owner. This persona would provide insight regarding the shipping industry, shipping tips and best practices, as well as act as a confidant regarding frustrations or suggestions about Ship's services and management. For our proposed social media strategic approach, we advise that Ship invest or reinvest in the following three channels. The unique promise of Facebook is building an online community of older business people. The way to reach this goal would be by conducting monthly giveaway contests, responding to any criticism in an insightful and honest manner, and lastly, posting weekly links to Ship's website and other websites with useful shipping tips. The unique promise of a forum is that it would work as a central one-stop location for customer resources, data collecting, knowledge, and relationship building. The way to reach this goal is posting bi-weekly posts asking customers to share useful tips with each other, transparent and useful responses within 24 hours to any customer questions or queries, and lastly, a monthly post asking customers for feedback. The unique promise of a blog is that it would serve as a social media outlet to share company news, expert insight, and in-depth tips. The way to reach this goal would be by hosting a bi-monthly blog post by a guest moving expert with an emphasis on sharing tips and insights, posting a quarterly update about the state of the company, and finally a weekly blog post with in-depth tips about moving and shipping. By the end of the first quarter, we speculate that we can achieve the following: increase consumer electronic word of mouth by 5%, increase Ship's brand liking by 10%, and finally, increase the number of social media interactions by 10%. Ship's ideal target market is a lower to middle class business owner between the age of 25 to 35 who makes less than 70,000. Ship's three social media accounts are underutilized and content on those channels could be more focused. Ship is not capitalizing on YouTube, one of the biggest social media platforms. And lastly, the social media brand persona best suited for Ship would be a tech-savvy, smaller business owner who would provide insight and shipping tips and would act as a confidant for customers' frustrations and suggestions.